news from away with your news anchors, Jimmy and Seamus O'Toole.
How's she going, my trout?
Our top story, the leader of Austria's extreme right-wing Freedom Party, Jörg Haider, visited Montreal and Toronto this week.
What was he doing in Ontario?
Oh, near as I can figure, he wanted to get some pointers from Mike Harris.
After a cool reception in Canada, Mr. Haider left, saying, I don't want to be in any country that discriminates against racist bigots.
Alberta militant environmentalist Wiebo Ludwig is in court facing several charges for blowing up oil wells. Oil companies are so intent on pursuing the Ludwig case, they forgot to raise gas prices this week.
The nominations for the 72nd Academy Awards have been announced. This year's biggest pleasant surprise is that Whoopi Goldberg will not be hosting. The broadcast promises to be the largest natural occurrence of silicone and hair weaves under one roof since last year's Oscar show.
A Spanish newspaper claims Augusto Pinochet has brain damage and is unfit to stand trial. Doctors said the injury was a result of watching all 2 hours of Who Wants to Marry a Multi-Millionaire?
The new game show proved to be such a success with the audience that a Canadian version is in the works. It will be called Who Wants to Marry a Guy with His Own Tim Hortons franchise.
Former Russian President Boris Yeltsin is writing his autobiography. Once it's completed, Mr. Yeltsin will become the first world leader to have his memoirs published in the form of a 12-step program.
In Ireland, the peace process is in serious jeopardy.
It's not.
Yes, boy.
No.
Yes, boy, Trout.
The peace process?
Yep.
No.
Yes.
In Ireland?
In Ireland.
Oh, no.
Yes, boy.
It's in jeopardy.
Yes, Captain.
Well, son of a gun. In other news, presidential candidate George W. Bush is still reeling after his defeat in the New Hampshire primary. He was quoted as saying, if you can't buy your way into the presidency with $70 billion in campaign funds, then there's something really wrong with America.
And there's surprising news from the U.S. It's almost 2 months into the new year, and not one Kennedy has died. We merely reports the news. In entertainment news, the Swedish group ABBA was offered $1 billion to tour again, but they turned it down. Here's Seamus with his commentary.
Thank God.
Good commentary, Seamus.
Thank you. Tennis star Andre Agassi has announced he will marry former women's champion Steffi Graf in Las Vegas. They will set the date once the couple decides which one of them is the man.
A recent study says composer Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart did not die from poisoning. He just passed away at the thought in the future music lovers would be listening to Britney Spears.
Due to an enlistment shortage, the U.S. Army is recruiting high school dropouts. Military analysts feel this is a great idea. These days, who's better trained to use a gun than a high school dropout?
The Toronto Blue Jays have introduced 2 new mascots, and there's a contest to name them. The leading choices thus far are BJ and Bell, Moneybags and Trade Me to a Contender, and Carlos Delgado gets $12 million a year, and all I get is a stupid feather and beak costume.
Still with baseball, the drug Mark McGwire uses to enhance his performance has been found to increase estrogen levels in men. This came as no surprise to McGwire, who is now a 44 double D.
And that's all the news from away. I'm Jimmy O'Toole.
And I'm Seamus O'Toole saying to those of you men who forgot Valentine's Day, it's probably safe. You can go home now.